Okay, shall we start? Yeah, Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Narayan Narayan Narayan. Just a minute. I have to readjust this. Yeah, now it is okay. So we were discussing 13th shloka in the 5th chapter. Okay. Sarva karmani manas. The shloka reads like this. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvan nakarayan. So as we told, there are the 4 points in it. Sarva karmani sanyasya, having abandoned all the karmas. We discussed this first point in our previous talk. Abandoning or refraining all karmas. All karma implies the very doership, isn't it? A partial karma means you can divide the karmas in different ways, vary more than one way. One is from the standpoint of instrument. From the standpoint of instrument of action, one division is physical action, oral action, and mental actions. Mental action is imaginations, thoughts. Okay, so one way of dividing is manovakaya, manaha vak kaya, activity carried out through mind, through sense organs and the body, speech and the body. So this is one division. Another division is the Shastra prescription. The scripture, the Shastra prescribes these duties like obligatory duties, nitya karma. Obligatory is daily duty and occasional duty, but both mean the same. Both are obligatory duties. Some duties are daily, come daily, some come occasionally, but both are obligatory. Second is kamya karma, only those which you love. Other is prohibited acts, like this. Okay, so sarva karmani means there are, now this is one division. This is a first division, physical, oral, mental. Second division, the prescription of the Shastra. Then the third division I tell you here. Third division is related to Vedanta here. Okay. Third one division is Manovakaya. Okay. Second division is a Nityadi, Nitya, Naimittika, etc. This is from the standpoint of Shastra's injunction, Shastra Vidhi. Third division is according to our maturity level. Okay? According to our maturity level, first we give up the wicked evil acts, that is adharmic. Adharmic acts we give up. Only follow the strictly what is ordained by the Shastra. Second stage comes, even what is ordained also. What is ordained also. Second one is give up the kamya. First give up the evil. Second is give up the desired acts. Desired act means the acts whose fruits we desire. Desire prompted acts. Okay, second stage. Third is only we follow the Nitya Naimittika, obligatory duties, obligatory rituals, prayers, and etc. Fourth, even that without expecting results. Okay. Then the fifth stage is you give up karma, sannyasa, that is a lifestyle sannyasi. Okay. Then last, giving up the very individuality. So this gradual giving up karma is talked about in Shastras as karma or tyaga, sannyasa, and etc. Now these are the 5 stages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stages, let us say. 6 stages of abandoning or giving up karmas. First is you avoid the wicked or evil acts, unvirtuous, which are not virtuous, unrighteous acts you give up. Second stage, you give up even the Shastra permitted, but which are motivated by desires. Okay, this is the second stage. Then at the third stage, you perform the obligatory duties without going for desire prompted special duties, without going for kamya karma. Okay, without going for kamya karma. Only nityadi you do it. Then the third stage, even nitya karmas you do them without expecting the result. That is karma yoga. Okay. After living a life of karma yoga, then this is recommended. Next is recommended sannyasa. Sannyasa means give up the worldly life. Worldly life means the empirical life and take to a life of a recluse. That is a sannyasi, a renunciate. But even a renunciate avoids Shastra prescribed duties alone. But he can't avoid the natural functions of the body. Natural functions of hunger and thirst and sitting and standing, the basic instinctive acts. Instinctive acts he can't avoid. He can avoid only those special duties prescribed by the Shastra, but not the instinctive life activity. Either you call them life activity, the very organisms living activities meant for living, the very life activity, or let us say instinctive. So, with your choice, you may give up Shastra prescribed duties, but the very in life activities, life functions will go on. So the last renunciation is you give up the very individuality. The last one happens only by jnanam. The last one is only by jnanam, no other way. Only by intuiting the truth, you cease to be an individual. Once the individual is transcended, then you have no life activities too, from that standpoint of Atmajnanam. Okay, so Shankaracharya takes Sarvakarma Sannyasa is synonymous to Jnanam. Okay, I have to explain all this because the word Sarvakarma Sannyasa Shankaracharya uses. Sarvakarma Sannyasa. Sarvakarma Sannyasa is equal to Jnanam alone, enlightenment alone. There is no other way. It is enlightenment or the jnana of Atma that alone can falsify, can sublate all the karmas, because it is the very individuality that is sublimated. When individuality itself, how do you give up the individuality? By de-identifying, removing your identification with the body, mind and sense organs. When the very identification is understood as a false notion, identification with the body, that means I have my I notion, my self-identity based upon the body. Identification means my self-identity based upon the body, my self-identity based upon sense organs, my self-identity based upon mind. This constitutes my individuality. So the final sannyasa, which is called by Bhagavan Krishna as well as Shankaracharya, Acharya Shankara, is Sarvakarma Sannyasa, giving up all activities without exception, even the natural functions of the body. That means it is possible to give up all the activities without exception only when the doership, the kartrutvam, the very karta, the idea of karta, the knowledge of karta itself gets erased. The very sense of individuality is transcended. That is the only way of giving up all karmas. So the sakshi, the witnessing consciousness, has no individuality, because the witnessing consciousness is just similar to deep sleep. Because the witnessing consciousness or the Atma, witnessing Atma is very natural. It is not acquired, nor it can be given up. It is naturally existing, self-existing fact. Self-existing fact remains a self-existing fact, because you can't interfere it, you can't change it, you can't pressurize it, you can't do anything with it. That means all our effort are not going to affect the self-existence of Atma. Atma's self-existence is independent of pressure of anything external. So any act you may do, the self-existing Atma is not going to improve, is not going to be improved. Even if you don't do, the self-existing Atma remains as before. It neither increases nor decreases. Neither it becomes better nor it becomes worse. So Atma's very nature is self-existent and free, totally independent. So the functions of the body, mind and sense organs don't affect. The punya papa do not affect. See, that's because, see, the punya papa are at the level of mind. I think this will be discussed in the next shloka, so I won't touch here. Okay, next two shlokas go together, 14th and 15th. There we will discuss all those things. Here only we say briefly this much, that you transcend the very individuality. So sarva karmani manasa sanyasya. That's why Bhashyakara Bhagavan Shankaracharya uses the word manasa. You can give up all the activities only by knowledge. It is not a lifestyle. Karma sannyasa, there are two sannyasas. One is karma sannyasa is a lifestyle sannyasa, a life of a renunciate. You take to a life of a renunciate, a sannyasi. Okay? Taking to a life of sannyasi is only partial sannyasa. Okay? Partial sannyasa means what? Only the professional duties you avoid. Professional duties you give up. And then your personal ambitions you don't have. Then even the rituals also, expecting the results you don't follow. Even the rituals which give you, which produce some result this worldly and other worldly, those rituals also, expecting some result, you avoid. That also you give up. Then what remains is a simple individuality. The activities, natural activities of the body, like hunger and thirst, keeping awake and all these things, you wake up and you go to sleep, all these are natural functions like a baby does. In short, all those functions which a baby a few years old, 2-3